This is Sports Done Right. SCTV sports anchor Doug Wright brings you expanded coverage of Sun City athletic action and introduces us to some of our Sun City neighbors who share their sports story.
During his tenure with Sun City TV, Doug Wright provided such a prolific number of sports reports that we gave him his own show, aptly named Sports Done Right. As our SCTV sports anchor, Doug kept us abreast of the daily activities and events in our plethora of Sun City sports teams. Moreover, he took the time to meet the people who make our sports happen, including some who brought a history of sports accomplishments with them to Sun City. Please enjoy a look back at some of Doug's work.
Well, ladies, it's a miserable day outside weather-wise, and there's no other way I could get you all three at the same time off the courts and the fields. And Edie, we'll start with you. You are part of a traveling team with the softball people. What other sports do you play?
I golf, pickleball, tennis, bowling. Is that about it? I think that's about it now.
How about you, Victoria?
Basically your softball and pickleball kind of gal.
Yeah.
With a little bit of sewing and baking in between.
Wow, how domestic of you. And Gail, how about you?
I play softball, pickleball, golf, ride my bike, walk. Pretty busy.
So all of you keep pretty busy. And I'm just going to try and get to know a little bit about your backgrounds. Gail, where are you from?
I am originally from Massachusetts, but I spent 40 years in New Hampshire.
Okay, and what were you doing up there?
I worked as a surgical assistant in the hospital, in the OR.
Okay, and you survived that?
I did survive that.
Never passed out, right?
Yes, I didn't retire till I was probably 72.
Okay, that's good. How about you, Victoria? Where are you from?
I'm originally from the Baltimore area. Grew up in a suburb of Baltimore. Went to school in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and lived in Texas for 20 years. So
Now, when you say Winston-Salem, is that Wake?
that's Wake Forest, yes. That's absolutely Wake Forest, where I played basketball.
Okay, and where in the world did you start picking up softball and pickleball?
Well, let's see. Pickleball here for sure. But softball, well, I played softball as a child, just rec league, and then a semester in high school. And then once I got here, my husband plays a lot of softball, so that's where I picked up most of it.
So he was inspirational.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, actually, it's either that or I just had to learn. We just had to.
You had to figure it out.
I had to do what he was doing because we traveled a lot with his ball. So I didn't have to. I chose to, I should say.
Good, that'll come over better. How about you, Edie? Where are you from?
I'm from New Jersey, southern New Jersey, and I've been playing ball since I was 8 years old, softball. Actually, I started with boys' little league till I was 16, and then I shifted over to rec league. Never really played softball in high school. I did play basketball and volleyball in high school.
Well, it seems to me you guys are all of an age that, the opportunities for young girls were somewhat limited in terms of playing. So how'd you overcome that, Victoria?
Well, I have 3 older brothers. That's what I did, but I just continued to just play and have fun and learn the game. So it was just kind of a natural thing to do because I had to keep up with my brothers.
Did you, in fact, have any official, like Little League or something else?
Oh yes, we did. Growing up, we did have some rec leagues in the community outside of Baltimore and in Carroll County where I grew up. Yes, we did. We had specifically basketball and some softball, but that was pretty much it that I can remember. Okay. I played.
How about you, Gail? You have a year or two on these girls.
Well, I'm so old, we're lucky to have had sports. But high school didn't have too many. College, I went to a small college, and I had to play for the men's intramural team because they didn't have women's sports.
Okay.
They had swimming, but that was about it.
Oh, yeah?
So I am old.
That's not where I was going with that. But, and Edie, how about you? You mentioned that you played a Little League ball.
Yeah, I was the first gal to play in the all-boys league. And, it just started there. I had a mother who pushed for a father to get me involved, and that's how I kind of broke in. But a lot of, the fellas I grew up with still keep tabs on all the athletes from high school. We have like our own little Facebook chat where we all kind of chime in as to who's doing what. And I noticed most of them are saying they're recovering from knee replacements and hip replacements, and I just keep I'm headed to another tournament. So,
Well, that little league's a rough league. Any other sports?
yeah, I mean, I golf. I was on the pickleball circuit.
No, I mean growing up.
Oh, field hockey. I mean, really girl-type sports started more later in high school. But, yeah, basketball, volleyball, field hockey. I didn't pick up golf and tennis until I was in my 20s.
Okay, and did y'all, let's put it this way, were you aware of what Title IX was? And were you able to, okay.
Came after me.
But seriously, did that affect you in any way?
Well, I guess when I went to college, we didn't have as much funding as the men's team did. So we were a little bit aware of that, about what we weren't getting and what we did get. From a standpoint of scholarships in college, they had a certain amount of funds where they could afford maybe one full scholarship and other partial scholarships. But that's what it was. So when I went, and my scholarship stayed the same all 4 years, which wasn't a full scholarship, but it was, and it helped.
It helped.
Yeah, especially.
How about you, Edie? Did you have any knowledge or any impact on your life?
I just knew it was real hard to play the sports I wanted to play. And, I was okay playing with boys, but it was not necessarily as welcomed by the sports themselves. Like when I went to sign up, my father's name was Edward. They called him Eddie. So when they saw me show up with my hair pulled up in a ball cap to try out, they thought I was indeed Little Eddie. And that's why I got drafted back in those days for sports, is they did think I was a boy.
Wow. And Gail, who inspired you to get involved in sports originally? Was it a parental push?
No, it must have been just the camaraderie of teams that I played on, just kids, and my parents weren't athletic. My brothers weren't too athletic. I love the sport. The sports, all of them, as much as I can play, and I'll play as long as I can. My age never made a difference until maybe the last birthday. And then I thought about it a little bit. But before that, no. You just play.
Okay, and Victoria, you've mentioned that you love to play team sports.
Yes, I do. I love the whole team aspect. I'm one of 6 kids, so we were kind of moved around as a unit, so close in age. But my mom played in high school. My dad played, all kinds of sports. My mom did swimming, badminton. And she went to a girls' Catholic school. And my dad went to a private school where he played football, ran track. And I took up those sports as well. I ran track as well. So, yeah.
Couldn't keep you down. How about you, Edie? You had mentioned that you got kind of a parental push from your mom.
Well, she knew I loved sports, and I would keep begging Dad if I could sign up. And Dad was like, "She can't play with boys. She can't play with boys." And my mom's like, "Just sign her up. What will it hurt? If she doesn't get picked, she doesn't get picked." But like I said, I truly believe they thought I was Little Eddie, and that's what, I was groundbreaking at the time. I was the first, girl to play in the boys' sports. I did want to play football. I wanted to play football, but they did draw the line. I couldn't, I had to be a cheerleader, which I didn't like, but.
Oh, I love being a cheerleader.
All right, and who's your hero now, and who inspires you to keep going besides just an inner drive?
Guys like this, they're great. They're really great. All the people I play with, there's some very, very good players like these two. I mean, they're the best.
And
there are lots of them. And I just keep playing. I love it, and as long as I can, pretty soon, I probably won't make teams, but so far, so good.
Well, Gail and Victoria, you're on the same traveling team, is that correct?
That's correct.
And how often do you get on the road?
Let's see.
It's our
3 or 4
fourth
times.
tournament. Yeah,
this year.
fourth away tournament. One more coming up. Last one coming up.
Okay, and it's all over the country or just the southeast?
Yeah.
Kind of southeast right now. We're in Florida, Knoxville, Georgia. We've been to Florida a couple times, different places.
Does anybody come here?
Actually, no. The only people that come here, there's no real tournaments in this area except Myrtle Beach, which isn't in this area, obviously. But we get other properties that will come here, like Peachtree has been here before, as you know, and hopefully we're going to try to get Spruce Creek up here too. They're down in Florida, so
We don't have enough. We don't have enough fields. I mean, we only have one field. You can't
Yeah.
bring a whole bunch of teams to play on one field.
unless we
They'd
rent
never
some.
finish.
Yeah.
Okay, and Edie, you're on a different traveling team. What's the difference between the teams?
One thing was age. I play on a slightly younger team. I'm on 55 plus. These gals are on 60 plus. Most of the team probably could be playing 65 plus. So I play with a group out of Tennessee, and we're probably headed to our 9th tournament. Saturday I leave for the Huntsman Senior Games in Utah. And we just have a great time playing.
Well, that's great. I interviewed Gigi. She goes out there every year, 15 straight years or something like that. Now, who is your biggest supporter?
In my household, it would be my husband, because every time I throw out, hey, I've been asked to go to this tournament. Every tournament, they're pricey to go to. I mean, you got to put yourself up. You got to fly or drive a car or rent a car. And, every time you go, you're spending, $1,000, $2,000 to go to a tournament. And, thankfully, he says, do it while you can. So that's why
And the prize money doesn't cover it?
Yeah, you get shirt.
Yeah. How about you?
That's right. Well, it's of course Bob, because he loves it so much.
That's your husband.
That's my husband, Bob. Yes. But yeah, he's probably the biggest supporter. But we have other, fans that come out and support us on a regular basis, like, Cliff and JoJo, Barthman, and Monty and Mary Kay Montgomery. They travel with us too at times, which is pretty cool. So, they're pretty much the biggest supporters, I think. And then again, our teammates are really awesome. So, and you asked who inspires you? Well, we want to be like her when we grow up. So.
Well, y'all are most kind to come out on a miserable day here and talk to us, because let us get to know you a little bit. Well, George S. Patton once said, you can't have an active mind with an inactive body. And while the weather this year has been a bit frightful here in Sun City, our indoor sports venues have been as busy as ever. Well, Nick, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming in to talk to us. You've had quite an interesting year and a lot of accomplishment, but I'd like to get to know you a little and just find out what your background is. Where are you from?
I'm from New Jersey until 8 years ago, then here.
Okay. And I assume you retired and came down here.
Yes, sir.
And
Yep.
what kind of activities did you engage in?
I'm a biker, hiker, runner, and billiard player.
Okay.
That's about it.
Well, that covers quite a lot. Did you have a background in running in school or?
Well, I started as a 10-year-old,
Okay.
and that's the backstory that you're going to ask me about, I think. But I ran through high school, track team, played a little football, and that's it. Went on to just a lot of hiking and biking after that, stayed in shape physically.
Okay. And so how'd you get involved with the running situation here at Sun City?
Well, to give you the background quick, I was a 10-year-old in Pagoda, New Jersey, when I won the first and only trophy I ever got as a 10-year-old. It was called the 1957 Field Day Champ, and it was for a run and a jump. From that point, for 60 years, I never got another gold medal except in high school for a relay. And I was captain of the track team, school records and all that, but never got another gold until I turned 74. So it was kind of ironic, I guess, if you think about it. And down here they had, when I moved here 8 years ago, they had Beaufort Jasper games,
Okay.
which were held at the high school. And I got a couple little medals in that, but nothing spectacular. And then I found out about the South Carolina Senior Games, which are every year in Florence,
Okay.
South Carolina. at the Florence High School. There's a lot of other sports there, and I'm just a track guy, so I ran there. And the first year I didn't do so good. I had bad knees. If I was ready to quit, and I started taking a little medication that the doctor gave me, and my knees got better. And in 2021 and 2022 now, I ran the 50s meters, the 100 meters, and got the gold medals and a little jump.
Okay, well, you got a little ahead of me there, but
Okay.
basically, tell us exactly what was the event that you were competing in, and how many races were you competing in?
Okay, so in 2021, I ran the 50 meters, the 100 meters, and the standing long jump. And I got the first in the 50 and the 100 and third place in my age bracket. This is age bracketed, so that was when I was 74. So that's 70 to 74. This year I went up a category, 75 to 79. I ran the 50, the 100, and the standing long jump, and that's where I got the 3 golds this time.
Fantastic. And this is the Carolina Senior Games that you're talking about?
Yes, it's called the South Carolina Senior Sports Classic.
Okay, and about how many people show up for the whole thing?
There's probably 1,000 or more, because there's a lot of events. It's not just track. Track is one day.
A lot of events, a lot of age groups.
Correct. From 55 and up, I believe it is, or 50 to 55 and up.
Okay,
5-year brackets.
all right. And how many people would you say came up from Sun City for this?
Well, there was none in the track events. There's a couple of good swimmers from here. I don't know if they came or not, because I don't see them a lot. There's a couple of people that I know, swimmers and the softball team, the girls, was supposed to be played here for that event, but somehow it got canceled.
It's probably weather, yeah.
Might be the weather, right?
Yeah. Okay, and how long do you intend to keep doing this, Nick?
Well, I got this injury in the 100 meters that my right leg groin area blew up into it looked like a piece of leg of lamb. So, and my body's got the speed, but I don't think the muscles can take it anymore. This may be my last sprint. I'll keep running, but I don't know about sprinting anymore.
And what kind of training regimen did you have to undergo to even get ready for the games?
I did a lot of every other day alternate sprinting in our parking lot here in front of Pinckney Hall.
Wow.
To get, to get.
So that was you, huh?
That was me out there. And a little, standing long jump.
Okay.
And that's about it. I run maybe a mile once a week or twice a week, but I'm not like a marathon guy. I'm just a sprinter.
Now, do you get over to the fitness centers? Is there a specific regimen you go through?
I go to the gym maybe 2-3 times a week and do some upper bodies for a half hour or so. I'm not a fanatic with that. I just do it to staying healthy.
Okay, and you've already mentioned that the future's a little murky now because of the injury and,
Right.
Advancing age and so on and so forth.
Yes.
But you've had a hell of a run, and what I would say is if you have any future plans, or whether it's just more of the same.
I'm not really positive. My wife thinks I should stop, but I'm thinking when I get to the bottom of the age bracket, when it's 80 to 85, I might try it again.
Okay. Well, I would say you've done a great job. Do you have any advice for maybe some aspiring competitors here at Sun City?
Well, I think everybody should I don't recommend sprinting. It's a tough thing to do, but I think a lot of guys, I don't see a lot of guys going to the gym, and I think we should encourage more people to stay fit, because at our age now, it's really important. It's never too late to get healthy and get in shape, or at least be healthier. Yep.
Well, I agree with that, and maybe someday I'll see you over there.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Good enough.
Well, Nick, thanks for your time today. It's
You're
a
welcome.
wonderful accomplishment. Our theme this month comes from an all-time great wide receiver who played for the San Francisco 49ers, none other than Jerry Rice. Jerry was well known for being the best prepared on the field and was quoted as saying, "Do today what others won't, so tomorrow you can do what others can't." That's what made him a fantastic football player, and you too can excel by heeding his words. Well, today we're talking to one of the more active residents in Sun City, Roy Powers, who's actively involved in at least 3 sports. And Roy, tell me a little bit about each one of those. What are you involved in? And I know you're the immediate past president of the Bocce Club.
Well, my favorite one is softball, okay, which I've played softball for 7 years now. And my career is on its way to an ending, okay, as the younger ladies and gentlemen move into Sun City. I can see the writing on the wall. I was just inducted into the Octogenarian Club for Sun City, 80 years old, still playing softball. But I'm in the sub pool this year, and the end is in sight.
Well, you've played for 7 years, okay, and then, of course, I see it looks like a bocce ball.
We got a bocce ball, which I am the past president, 4 years in the bocce club. I am now the secretary, so I'm still on the board, and I'll probably stay in the bocce club till I get bumpers on the courts, which has been a 2 or 3 year struggle, but it looks like the end is in sight.
Okay, and finally, and probably just as importantly, you are also the president, or have been, of the Pickle Tennis SIG.
Well, actually, it's just a group leader, not a formal president. I took over pickle tennis 2 years ago. Okay, my wife and I enjoyed playing pickle tennis, so I got involved because we played with her, and she sort of dropped out, but I've continued playing.
Okay, and age is no barrier there.
So far, still have both knees, the original knees and original shoulders.
Well, let me ask you this. Was sports a big factor in your decision to come to Sun City?
Sports was not a big factor in determining whether I was coming to Sun City or not, because we decided in 2 or 3 days upon coming into Sun City to buy a house here.
Okay.
We were just thinking of, the big reason was to get out of the snow and ice up in Rhode Island.
Okay, and that's where you're from originally?
I lived 73 years in Rhode Island.
73 years in Rhode Island. So what'd you do for all those years? What was your career?
My career was, I graduated from college with an accounting degree, worked as an accountant in a private business, and then went into the banking business, where I lasted for 18, 19 years before I retired in 1999, I believe.
In the case, you said you've been down here 8 years. Now, once you got here, what spurred your interest? What grabbed you about getting into these various sports?
Well, the second day I was here, my neighbor across the street came over with an application for the softball club, and it was onward and upward from there. Okay, and then gradually moved into the other sports.
Well, did you have an athletic background back in your school days? You probably, as an accountant and banker, you didn't have much time for athletics.
Well, my dad was an avid sports person, so he got me interested in sports. My brother and I played sports. I played football, basketball, and baseball, ran track in high school, and then went on to college and played a little bit of basketball in college, but then had to go to night school and work during the day. Then 7 kids came along, so that sort of diminished the activity in sports.
Yeah, you're one shy of a baseball team right there, counting you.
I was more of a spectator and driver at that time.
But once you got here, you got involved in leadership, and what compelled you to do that?
Oh, my God. Let's see. I started out as the neighborhood rep, all right, and things just developed from there. As I joined the organization, it was tough to get volunteers, and bottom line is I don't think I like being told what to do, so if you're the boss, you can sort of determine how it's done.
And what do you think you've gained from all this involvement in sports?
All the involvement in sports and all the activity has really kept us, both my wife and I, young. Okay? Going on 80, there's a lot of people that aren't as fortunate as I am, and I consider the athletics an important part of keeping me that way and hopefully staying that way.
Now, was your wife an athlete as well?
She was. She was actually, I think, lacrosse in high school.
which wasn't that popular a sport back in the day, but now it's killing it.
Yeah, absolutely, right. And I think she ran a little bit of track.
Oh, yeah. I know that you've been a neighborhood rep in addition to all your involvement in sports. What other activities, and did you ever feel like you're overscheduled?
I have excellent people doing things with me, okay? So it does not feel like I'm overscheduled, except when everything comes at once. I'm a member of the Residential Advisory Council, a district chair, all right? Also president of the Rhode Islanders. I'm on the social committee of the New Englanders and the Pennsylvania group, from which my wife is from.
Okay, well, it sounds like a really full schedule. Do you ever have any downtime?
I just came back from my grandson's first birthday in New England. We're going out for my grandson. He goes to Colorado State, Fort Collins. We're going out to visit him in March. We're going to Sarasota, Florida, to visit some friends next week. So you just plug everything in, and I'm a great organizer in the morning. I get up early, get things done, and it's off to play.
Well, one final question or two, Roy. It's obvious that you've taken advantage of the amenities here and all the opportunities. What would you advise someone who's just moving in to Sun City? How would you advise them to get themselves involved?
To take a look through these sensations. It's got every single club, every single group, every single special interest group. Pick out what their favorite is, sign up, pay the dues, go to a couple of meetings, and get involved. Just get involved. Once you get involved, you'll meet a ton of new people who are just looking to meet you.
You ever find people that are just afraid to get out of their comfort zone, or just don't, have that extra little bit of self-confidence?
Not really. Most of the people that I meet are involved. It's really the other way around, I think. It's the people who would like to get out but now are unable to do it because of, problems with the knees, problems with the arms, just unable to get in, or taking care of a spouse. Those are the ones that you wish could do some things differently.
Well, Roy, you're a great example of what it is to be a Sun City active resident over 55. And I appreciate your time today. Thanks for coming by, and continued good luck to you.
Well, thank you. My wife and I moved in here in June 2015. We thought Sun City was a great place at that time, and we have not looked back one day since we moved in. It was the best move we could have made.
Acclaimed author F. Scott Fitzgerald said it, and it rings true. Life starts all over again when it gets crisp in the fall. Here in Sun City, when the weather cools to a livable level, the athletic endeavors of the residents rejuvenate, and there is action everywhere.
Doug knew how to bring out the best in people he met. Tune in next month when we bring you a selection of Doug's interviews with these individuals. We need those action shots and Kodak moments that happen every day here in Sun City. Think about when you're out on the courses, the courts, or the field, putting that phone to good use and snapping those shots of your favorite athletes. To get a TV-worthy shot, here's a quick TV camera lesson. Most importantly, hold your camera for a landscape, not portrait orientation. To click it up a notch, here's some other hints. For a video, lock those elbows or stabilize against a solid surface. That way no viewers get motion sick. Pan slowly, that motion sickness thing. Shoot with your back to the sun and bright light. And zoom with your feet, which means get closer. Then get those visuals ready to send to SCTV. Format those pictures and videos as MP4, MOV, JPG, JPEG, and HEIC. Send your photos and videos with a brief description of the event details and identify persons when possible. Email them to suncitytvhh@gmail.com and watch for your first TV photo credit.